and welcome to the studio today. I've got with me Deb from Appen, who's a local teacher, and so she's obviously got lots and lots of things happening around the whole ISO happenings at the moment, so work-wise and things. But in amongst that and the current school holidays, has been doing a lot of work with the Appen War Memorial, and you're the president of your local Chamber of Commerce?
No, secretary. Yeah.
Secretary. I knew you were up there somewhere, but I know that somehow they end up putting your face on most things. And so whenever I need to talk to anybody, it's you that we get directed to. And in the middle, we've got Nate, who is our local Wallandilly Wingecarribee MP. So welcome, Nate, and thank you for joining us. So the plan is today that I just wanted to sort of talk about just some of the ways that Anzac Day has been done in the past, because obviously it's fairly obvious that all of us will be standing in our driveway, out the front, whatever this year, because we don't have any other choices. Have you been invited? Are you doing one of the private services, Nate? Have you been invited to one of those, or?
The private services, well, we're advertising the state government. The Commonwealth service will happen in Canberra, which is on in the morning on television. And then there'll be another service later in the morning that the Premier and the Minister for Veterans Affairs will be at. But we've been basically instructed to get involved in the driveway movement. And I might also be going around dropping some wreaths off myself. And I've just produced the video, which hopefully will be ready by tomorrow, with a message about Anzac Day. So I'm trying to promote Anzac Day as much as possible from using our virtual technologies and in isolation. And Anzac Day is a very important day for me. My grandfather was in World War II. My great-grandfather was in World War One. So our family has a tradition of returned servicemen, and it's a great. I think it's going to be also pretty tough for some of those veterans who they look forward to this day every day. And some of those veterans have brought back their own mental scars from war.
Definitely. I've been talking to the guys from Soldier On and some of the different groups that look after the vets. I'm just going to jump in because we've had Matt Beath join us as well. Hi, Matt. So Matt's actually the current mayor of Wallandilly. So has obviously, like all of us, been to plenty of the services around our area. So so as part of our panel today, we're going to just talk about a few things. I was hoping that Ray would join us as well, because Ray has been very instrumental in a lot of the events around our region. So I'm just going to play very quickly. It's like a 10 set. It's not very long, but this is from the Wallandilly, from the Picton March about 2 years ago. So I'll just quickly play this so people can sort of see what we're talking about when we talk about our region being very involved and wanting to do things. So this was from the march 2 years ago. So there is, you can sort of see we've got all the old guys marching. We've got veterans from all different sort of different wars. We've got the schools representing. We've got the local bands. It is a massive day in our region. And I know Matt and Nate sort of get up at dawn and do the Picton one, but then it's like there's Warragamba and there's Wingecarribee and there's plenty of other services where this year you'll actually get to stay at home with your family and commemorate in a different way. So, the plan obviously is for it to still be a solemn, safe and respectful way of doing that. I'm going to take Matt and Nate off the screen for a moment because I've got some photos from Deb that I want to sort of talk about. We'll do Deb first. So seeing she's been sitting here and we've got some photos. So I'll just take you guys off the screen for the moment, but I will bring you back, so don't go anywhere. Okay. Now, Deb, you're as part of the history group from Appen. I know that you guys have been doing a lot in regards to Anzac. So I've put a few photos up. Do you want to tell us about how these came about? And these are all this year. So what are you guys doing for Anzac Day?
Yeah, well, it's actually the War Memorial Incorporated. So it's a group that was formed because in Appen, there's actually nowhere, we don't have a war memorial at all. And so at Anzac Day, basically the township of Appen disperses. Some people will go off to Picton, some will go to Campbelltown. So John and Sue have actually formed a War Memorial Inc. to, raise funds to get their own permanent war memorial. And so this year I was just at home and I thought, what are we going to do this year? So I just contacted Sue and Bron King, who were part of it, and said, look, I'm thinking of doing a war memorial pop-up sort of type thing so that kids have got somewhere to walk, on their 1 hour of exercise in isolation, and they can do some craft at home and contribute to the actual monument itself. So when I said that to Sue and Bron, they were both very keen. And, and I got my crochet girls involved, and they were my first port of call to say, would you help? And they all said yes. So they've crocheted poppies to put all through. Sue basically printed and cut out and laminated all those red poppies you can see throughout the town in all those photos.
Now, and they all have names on them, don't they? They have these 31 names on them.
Yeah, so not all the ones in the garden beds there, but at each roundabout, there's been, yes, all the names of World War I soldiers have been written on those poppies there to commemorate them. And there are more getting done now for World War II, and then I think all the different wars are actually going to be written up as well, just so we're showing
all the local Appen people.
Appen, yeah. Like one family had four children go. One was a nurse, and the other 3 were soldiers. The Dice family. So I think it's very important to respect that and keep commemorating their sacrifice.
Yeah, and this, I mean, I used to live next door to this place, and I didn't know about this farm at all, that there was a plane crash there in one of the wars, and they lost four veterans there. Like, wow. Like I said, I lived there how long? I lived there for like 25 years, and I didn't know that one. So that's a really interesting.
I guess you don't really know these things until you dig them up, and then you've got to tell your stories and do that whole succession planning so that the future generations do know, because I didn't know about it either until Sue had found out all this sort of stuff, and Bronnie, and then they passed it on. So I think that's kind of what, I guess, why this year is so important, is that the momentum isn't lost, and we just find different ways to do things. And if that's through storytelling, then I think that's fantastic.
Well, the stories are what keep it alive, isn't it? Because that's it. A lot of the veterans from World War I, for example, there aren't many left now at all. So to honour them and get their stories out there is amazing. Now, the other thing that I noticed that you guys have done, and I will get to that one, it's about the third screen in, is a tradition of a different type, because I know that this one here, I love it. Tell us about this one.
Okay, so the only way that the War Memorial has been raising funds so far is when John heads up to the pub on a Friday night, I think it is, or a Tuesday, and does the old-fashioned meat raffle. And obviously that's not happening now. So we had to once again get innovative, and Sue had this idea that, maybe we can do it with a deck of cards, like a two-uppy sort of thing. So we played around with the idea a little, and then decided that if we had 2 decks of cards, and we could remove one card and, hide it away in an envelope, and all the others are placed down, and as people buy, $2 for 1 card, 3 for 5, like the normal, they turn over the cards and pin them back on and write their name and phone number next to the corresponding card. And then once the deck is sold, we open up the envelope and see who drew that winning card. And the first one sold out. I put it up at 6:30 on a Friday evening, and Megan's open till I think 9 or something, or 7 actually, and then she opens the next morning until 12, and we were done by 10 the next day.
Yeah,
so we've done 3 already. Yeah, we've done 3 already since with taking Sunday out of it. We've done 3 hot meat raffles already. So people were contacting me via private message going, I want to buy one. Where do I get them? Can I send you money now? And I was like, no. You've got to go into Megan's butcher shop. It's Megan's Country Cuts is the place to go. So it's been fantastic from the community. It's been great.
It's great to see that innovative, that new ways of doing things, because that's it. Everybody's sort of at home and, you know, trying to work out everything at the moment. So I loved it. When I saw the meat raffle, I thought that's classic traditional Australian fare. So it was really good to sort of see it transformed into a socially acceptable way in this current climate. So thank you. I'm going to bring the boys back, and I'll take you off for a little while, Deb, so you can, you know, breathe. Okay, where are we, guys? Let's get you on so I can see. There we go. You'll have to sit up, Nate, otherwise you've got the bugler in your nose. It's all good. So I do have some of the photos, like I said, from Ray's, because I know that that's pretty much stuff that you guys have been involved with. The council has worked closely with the Anzac Day Committee to create the Anzac Day memorials each year. But in Picton, they've gone one step further, haven't they? And you'll see, sorry, I didn't warn you guys about this one, but I know you were all involved within it. Oh, and we've lost poor, can't get you on as well. Okay, sorry, Matt, but speak away, because what I've got here is photos of the march, and I mean, it's huge. We get like thousands of people there, and I saw that they had some of the original footage as well, which was it has grown a lot since then. But we've created a memorial within the park. Do either of you want to sort of tell us a little bit about the memorial, seeing we don't have Ray?
Yeah, look, this is really a massive credit to the Picton Anzac Committee. They're the ones that really drove all of this. They're the ones that do organise every year, and they do such an amazing job. The efforts and the fundraising that goes into the particular memorials that we've got there is huge amount of effort from a large group of people to put that in, and has received a number of funding, you know, from grants and all sorts of things over the years. I know, I think Nathaniel's given a grant, and so has Angus along to really put this up. And it's such a beautiful legacy for our community that we have this, where we can actually go and recognise at a local level the sacrifice that's been given across the many wars that we continue to remember them, and it's a permanent, I guess, memory that we can go and teach our future generations. And the wonderful thing that the Picton Anzac Committee do is that they involve schools as well. I'm always so encouraged when you go down and you actually see so many schools participating, and you really get a sense that it is being passed on to the future generations, which is an incredible testimony to the Picton Anzac Committee and everything they're able to achieve.
This, the plaques and stuff that we're seeing, this was done for the centenary. I remember that they were sort of working really, really hard to get this open for the centenary. And so it's actually in the walkway, in the entrance to the local park. They now have like this building that you can see, and inside that building is those lists of all the people from Wallandilly that served in the wars. And then along the footpaths, families could buy bricks and have their servicemen's names and things on the bricks. You'll sort of, I'll put that picture back up again. Oh, no, this one. You can see sort of some of the bricks. There's Ray, who I was hoping would join us, leading one of the services, and his awesome committee. But the bricks on the paveway, every family can do that, and that's still something that's ongoing. They're still doing that particular part of the project. The plinths that you can see on the top of those, they have like a dedication to every war that that Wallandilly has been represented in. So it's not just World War I; it is all the wars prior and since. So they've got they've remembered all of them and all the different services as well. So it's quite it's a beautiful park to walk through now, with that there as a permanent reminder for everybody in Wallandilly. These are the bricks I was talking about. They're actually set in the ground, and you can walk sort of along the path beside them. So amazing job that, you know, and I'm talking about Wallandilly because that's where I live, and I know you guys, and I've met you, and, you know, we've been at these services together, and we've done a lot of things that way. So I'm not being, I know we have people from across the world watching our live feed, and I'm not being insular in that way. It's just that these are the guys that I know and that I can talk to and about the different things. So,
but Peter, can I actually say it's been wonderful, and I know you've been doing a lot of the work behind the scenes here in bringing the community together, but to actually see it on the ground and to see, even in, you know, we're all self-isolating at this point in time, but to see the community spirit is still there and is all starting to come together within our own communities. I mean, Appin have done an amazing job. I know a lot of other villages are. Just here in Menangle, our neighbours have put together little Anzac packs for all the kids in the village and put them in the letterboxes. And there's a real sense that we are going to be doing it differently this year, but it does not stop the intent that we really want to actually acknowledge and remember and all come together in isolation. So it's been so encouraging to watch that the community, if this has been community led, and it's really quite profound, and it's, you know, huge credit to you as well for all the work that you've put into starting to, you know, build the momentum behind it. So I'm really excited, and I'm really grateful that we're able to still remember Anzac Day, just in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. I've got just for you, I can see him hiding down there in the bottom. So I will bring Justin up because it was Justin that, amongst other people, and I'll be talking to Bill and Terry tonight as well. But on that Tuesday, when they announced that there would be no Anzac Day services, I think sort of everybody just kind of went, oh, wait, what do we do? You know, because this is something that we've done forever. You know, I know back in the 80s, for example, back in the 80s, I did, oh, look, I can fit 5 of us on there. Back in the 80s, I did services down in Bulli, you know, with the St. John's Ambulance Cadets, you know, and then my kids have marched at Picton. This year I was a bit torn because my kids are actually at school that's in a different precinct. So their school was marching in the Camden one, and we traditionally march in the Picton one, which kind of gave us a bit of a not a conflict, but it was like, okay, where do we go? And yeah, we're going to go out the front, basically. So we're still going to show our respects, and we're not torn as to where we can do it. Sorry, we now have Justin. So this is Justin.
Hi, Dame.
So
thanks for coming on.
That's all right. We've been just chatting about different things and looking at some of the photographs and stuff of how Anzac Day traditionally has been honoured in our region, but also how ways that we're starting new traditions. Sorry, I'm going to have to go and close my door because my family.
I'm sorry I joined late. I was having a few technical issues with my camera being blocked by another application from earlier today.
Yeah, we're all learning a new way, aren't we?
The town I live in, Ballarat, has a huge service history. We have our main drag is called Remembrance Drive, and every tree that's planted along there has a plaque dedicated to a fallen soldier. We have a POW memorial and a number of other things as well. So when it was cancelled, I just, fell in a heap. I didn't know how. I mean, I understood that had to happen, but I couldn't imagine Anzac Day just passing by with nothing more than a TV broadcast. So hence here we are. And I was really lucky to have Tia and the other 6 admins that have come onto the group all volunteer and reach out to me on the first day and say, can we please give you a hand because you're going to need it? And boy, were they right. Thank you, Tia and crew.
Been huge, but like I said, it's been quite amazing, and just finding the different stories and how everybody's connecting to Anzac as well, and it gives. I was chatting to the guys from Wallandilly will know Bob, who's very active in sort of keeping history alive in Tamor and within our region. And Bob can't go to our local Anzac Day ceremony anymore because of his age and his health. And, in previous years, that's actually really, depressed him, because this was just such a big part of what he did. But this year, when I spoke to him last weekend, he's like, well, this year I can do this. I can be part of a national service. So he's quite excited that it's now made it available for so many other people as well. So which was beautiful.
That's fantastic. That's exactly the intent behind it, and we do expect that in future years, people like Bob and others who have geographical or medical or psychological reasons for not being able to attend a service. I work in suicide prevention, and I know a lot of people who struggle with crowds. This is a way for them to connect with that higher, greater connection to the Anzacs, to be a part of a bigger movement in the safety and comfort of their own driveway. So we do expect that it's going to continue on. That doesn't mean that dawn services shouldn't be attended, by the way. We still want people to
we'll all be back in the main street next year. So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But, the other one, I was hoping to get Deborah Gray on as well. Now, Deb's the principal of my local school, and I know that both the guys know Deb, but she's caught in a meeting with, school. There's some pretty big things going on around schooling at the moment as well. So, but what I was going to talk to Deb about was the fact that every year the school itself also does its own service. And because Anzac Day is a public holiday, obviously they don't do it on Anzac Day, but she always rallies the troops and gets them into the service in Picton. And but they always have a formal service at the school with the flag raising, with the ode. And quite often we have Major Hales or Sergeant Hicks come down and actually run the service, because we do have a lot of families within our region have connections with the services. So, Nate, I'll come back to you, because that's like your kids are school age as well, aren't they?
Yeah, well, I've got a 5-year-old turning 6 the next week and an 8-year-old. So they're at school age, and it's been quite challenging the last few weeks. And I was only saying that's the premier homeschooling. I have so much more respect. I hold teachers up with the RFS, the way that they deal with kids and teach kids, because I've been pulling my hair out with the homeschooling, I have to say.
Talk to Deb that's to you, because Deb's not only a teacher, she also is homeschooling 3 children at the moment, whilst sorting out how this whole school is going to resume next week. So,
well, Deb, I'll put a petition to the Pope to have you in the sainthood category.
I'll see how we go there.
Now I've got young kids, and they're going to be joining me on Saturday morning. I'm waking them up early on the driveway. So that's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, it's. I know that most of the schools are sending out packs or idea sheets to the kids so that they do remember it. And another one of the local teachers here, she's homeschooling 3 kids herself at the moment as well, and she actually has a wall in her house, which I have asked her to share, but she said she's got a few more subjects that they want to cover before they unveil it and share it publicly. So your kids are younger though, aren't they, Matt? So they sort of haven't really had the experience of the school doing Anzac Day at school yet, have they?
No, unfortunately, my eldest is in kindergarten, so it was going to be his first year of experiencing it. So unfortunately, he'll be doing it differently this year. So,
well, at least you're still doing it, which is really the point of this, isn't it? Because it would have been a shame to completely miss out. So what's your school doing, Deb? Have they sent out packs for kids and things?
Well, ours is a secondary school, so it won't be so much done in that way, but it'll be done through usually our PC or our religion program usually covers that. And generally on the first week back, we have a ceremony, raising of the flags. We have one of our students play the bugle and do the last post, and we have the ode read out and stuff. So we have done something similar recently for Easter, the Easter service. We did an Easter service via Zoom that all the children had to log into through their homeroom. So I'm imagining something similar will be happening, but I haven't heard 100% yet. But I don't think it will go undone. No.
Yeah, no, it won't go unnoticed. They'll definitely do something, which has been the point. I'm guessing for Matt and Nate, the one good thing about this is that you're not going to be dragged around. I know you do it voluntarily and you do it because you have that strong sense of community and service, but it won't be 4 different services, 30, 40, 50 kilometres away from each other that you're expected to be at literally at the same time. So,
yeah, look, it's go, Nat.
No, I'll let you go first, Matt.
It is one of those things. It's always a logistical challenge, and I'm very grateful for the support that we've got at council to organise the calendar and knowing the movements of getting to and fro where. But it is one of those really important, and I think it's probably one of the most important calendar events that we do have in Wallandilly, and it's so important to be at those events and to be part of them, because it's really important that we do come together as a community. So it's always a logistical nightmare, but it's so important. So I'll be missing it this year, but I know I'll be watching and looking at the online community to see how we're all coming together.
So this is the big question, Matt. Will you be suited up on Saturday, or are you going to try and do the Jarman thing?
Oh, absolutely. I'll get all the family in the driveway, and I'll get a picture of all of Station Street in Menangle with all the residents out in the driveway at the same time. Excellent.
Yeah, I've put a little flyer in all the letterboxes of my street as well, just sort of saying, see you on Saturday. So we'll see how many we get there. Nate, what are your plans then for this weekend?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, I've just produced a video this morning in a suit, which hopefully will be ready online for Facebook to go out to the whole community with an Anzac message. I've also asked my office to purchase some briefs, so I'll be trying to go around to some of the local memorials and put a wreath down, even though there'll be no service. I will also be in the driveway early Saturday morning, so I hope to see a whole lot of people in Stirling Drive, East Barrel, because in the past, obviously, the state electorate's quite large, so to drive from where I am to Warragam, it's about an hour and 10 minutes. So it's, as Matt said, each year I sort of make a decision. I'm going to do Mittagong, Barrel, Picton, or up at the Oaks, or Oakdale, or so you've got to plan your day out. And each year we might have to take a turn. I might do the southern end, or the northern end, or the centre this year, and next year do northern end. So because you can't blend 2 places at once, or sometimes 3 places at once.
Well, I don't know if you guys have been following along on the Aussies and Kiwis for Anzac page, but we've also joined up with a few different ones. So the Music for Mateship guys, so they're doing the bugle, the ode and things. But we've also got Follow the Sun have been joining us, and that's pretty amazing, because they've actually put a call out for photographers and drone operators and whatever to photograph their streets of where they live. So, all photographers can be involved in this particular program. And that way whatever everybody is doing in their own area, in their own suburb, can actually be documented. And afterwards, they're going to put all those feeds together and create like a video of what Anzac Day 2020 looked like across the country. So that will be quite amazing. So for them, like the photo stills and the drone footage of streets everywhere. So that I'm actually really looking forward to that one. So if you do know any photographers and drone operators, get them onto, they just have to go into the Follow the Sun site and register, and they will be included in that one. So now we do have, oh, sorry, I've had my photos up there, not my questions, but it looks like we have a couple of questions there as well.
What I'll do, Tia, I'll dive out and then I can pop the questions up on the screen for you.
There's not too many there. So we've got sort of, oh, there you go. Trev from last night thinks that the virtual meat raffle is a winner. I thought it might have been as well, but my ticket didn't win. So I'm still debating whether or not it's a winner. But
just buy another one. Buy another one.
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. I'll have to pop down and grab another one this week. So, and here's your team, Deb from Appen, saying, you know, that it does. They've done an amazing job. And I know Appen's not the only one. Like Matt said, Menangle's doing things, and we've got there's a lot happening up at Warragamba. Sorry, you dropped out. You're back now. There's a lot happening up at Warragamba, and you know, in the villages and the towns and the cities across Australia, there is a lot happening. So it's great to sort of see all the different generations working together to get those things happening. Oh, there you go. Somebody wants to know, Matt. Someone's calling you out, Matt, wants to know when you're coming back to Appen, and I can't see who it is. So you'll have to go on to the Facebook group to find out who that one is. Oh, someone said they can hear the birds. So we're not quite that rural, but it's all good. Okay, there we go. This is pretty much why we do it, why we are doing the Anzac Day the way we are this year. It says, as a current serving member, I love this idea as it would have been the first one they've missed in 30 years. So it's amazing. Like everything that all of you guys have been doing to keep the spirit alive is beautiful, and this is why we do it, so that people do know. What else have we got up here? Oh, there you go. We've got oh, I like this one too. Oh, I like all the comments. It's always good to see them. On behalf of the Naval Association of Australia, Fangate subsection from Brisbane, loving the collective enthusiasm. So, which is great. And it is people from everywhere. It is people with connections to the different forces in many different ways. You know, Nate hasn't served, but his grandparents did, and so he has a connection. Like all of us, we all know somebody in the service. We all know stories. We've all got those connections along the line, and it's not connected to age. You don't have to be a certain age group to share that spirit. You know, speaking to young Mackenzie the other day was total testament to that. You know, she's 17, and you know, for 3 years she's really been learning the traditions and doing everything to keep those traditions alive. So thank you for your comments, Peter. I think that's about that's the major of them. There's a few that have checked in from all over the place and thanking us for our effort. So thank you very much for tuning in. Now, does anyone have anything else that we want to cover today? Because I think we've about done it. We've covered sort of everything I had planned. So, no?
I'd really like to thank you all for coming on and doing the stream with Tia today. It's been fantastic. Really good to hear about that community spirit that you guys have there. So thank you all very, very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you for inviting us all.
Well, I've got one last thing. I guess I could say one last thing. If anyone does know anyone that would like to help out with Appen War Memorial, getting one up and running with a, you know, funding or sponsorship, you know, we're always open to it.
We'll see what we can do there.
Fantastic.
Just on that, Debbie.
Well, there's a few connections here for you. You know, I'm sure that one of them will be able to help out with some grants of some description once you guys, you know, what you have achieved in the last month was just a not a knee-jerk reaction, but a reaction to the fact that there wasn't anything happening this year, and so to make it something. But you have done such a beautiful job that it would be a shame that there's that history doesn't go into something a little bit more permanent, especially now that you've got all those stories and things like that. So anyway, I'm going to go hear my children.
Connect with me. Definitely connect with me after the stream, because I am aware of some grants that are specifically for memorial restoration, erections and so forth. So send me a private message and I'll point you in the right direction.
Fantastic. Thank you, Joe.
No worries. Well, once again, like I said, thank you very much for joining us. And we will finish off with our little video. Now, the photos in this video have all been shared with us by people that have been interacting with our group. So if you guys haven't seen it, hang around and watch it, because it's just, it again encapsulates that whole Anzac spirit. So thank you very much. Join me tonight for a chat with Justin, Bill Sowry and Terry James. So see you later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.